welcome to this OTA known as ORM, the organized team activity that's Overreaction Monday, brought to you by our friends at Game Time, the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. I've got a promo code. It's called Overreaction, and you use it, and you get $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Rich Eisen along with my Overreaction Monday compadre, Christopher Brockman.
What's
How are you,
man?
sir? How are you?
I'm great. What do you got?
Well, I got just one more week of OTAs in spring, and then pretty much it's wait around for a month and training camps start. Man, and that's what we got right now in the football world.
So fast.
I know it is. It's right around the corner. You're like now's right around the time again we had on our flagship show on the Monday of this past week, and we're recording it shortly after we chatted with Kevin O'Connell of Minnesota. He said he's letting the veterans go for this last organized team activities, and it's the young'uns, meaning J.J. McCarthy's going to wing it around and get a lot of the reps in practice. And I think that's what we're going to see for any team that's already had their mandatory minicamp. We're going to see some mandatory minicamps this week. And then that's about it. I don't think there's really going to be too many signings going on. We'll see maybe some contract extensions. The window for striking a deal with anybody like T. Higgins that's been franchise tagged. Right. A long-term deal. That happens in July.
Tyreek Hill restructure, maybe?
But those things I think get done during training camp.
Yeah.
So that's why we're doing the Overreaction Monday pod for June right now.
Early June.
Yeah. That. There's stuff going on, though. There's stuff going on.
There's stuff going on. People are talking.
Well, we are.
We're talking.
All right. So it's time for Overreaction Monday.
Things? I don't know.
Here we go. Hit it, please.
That was terrible. That was crap. That was garbage. This place sucks.
Overreaction Mondays. Monday.
I don't even laugh. I mean, I've heard that drop a million times.
Who did that?
I don't know what that's from.
I don't know where that's from.
This place sucks. I don't know. I mean, it is. I take it for granted. It's just silly and stupid and funny but also
that's what we're doing.
Particularly descriptive of the venture that we're undertaking.
Yes. Rich, let's just kick this off. Last week, you blessed us with the too soon, too early, dumbass Rich Eisen power rankings.
Yes,
is that
somebody called poppycock. I got every now and then. I'll get an update from the YouTube Studio app. When somebody comments on a video, it'll pop up on my phone as an alert. Not all the time, though, but every now and then it will. I don't know what it chooses. Well, and I'll hit on it just to see what the person is responding to.
Sure.
Certainly when it is potentially evergreen, the comment popped up, this list sucks.
Oh, great.
Those 3 words. I'm going about my business, trying to be father of the year.
Right.
My phone will buzz, and I'll look down and go, what's this about? This list sucks. Hit it, and it was my too soon June power rankings that you say I bestowed upon the populace.
Blessed.
All right, so.
Blessed. Rich, I have the list in front of me.
Oh, my gosh.
Half of these teams are going to miss the playoffs this year.
Okay, so read off the teams.
10 Rams. Potential. Cowboys 9, 8 Jets, 7 Browns, 6 Packers, 5 Texans, 4 Lions, 3 Ravens, 2 Chiefs, 1 49ers.
All right, I think you're completely wrong. You think any of the top 6 are missing the playoffs?
Half. I think
so. Any of the top 6 I just gave you.
Sure.
Because you can go. You can say the Jets aren't making it. You could say the Browns aren't making it. You think the Rams might have peaked in a year when they surprised you.
Overachieved a little bit.
They made their run, and sort of like an NBA team that's down 20 makes a run, they wind up losing by 20 eventually.
You
think
regress back to the mean. I think there's potential here for. I know it's not his second season, but a sophomore slump for Jordan Love and Deshaun Watson. Ravens, a little hangover from being just shy of making the Super Bowl.
That they only win 9 games?
Last year, you guys thought I was nuts for saying the Bengals were going to miss the playoffs.
Get out of here. You think the Cowboys, half is a very tough apple to bite off right there, bro.
Rich, every year half the playoff teams don't make it the next year,
So
and
you're
all of these teams made the playoffs except the Jets.
Last year.
Yeah, so I'm just going by what history tells
Let's
me.
put a pin in it.
I don't want to be doomed to repeat history. You know,
Understood.
You know what I mean?
I just think
It's possible.
the Chiefs are making it. The Niners are making it. The Ravens are making it. The Lions are making it. I think the Texans are
You
making
think
it.
all 10 of these are making it? That's why they're your top 10.
I don't think all 10 of them are making it. I think I'll be off on, I think I'll be off on some for sure. But I don't think any of the top 6 are going to miss. And because any of the top 6 are going to miss, then clearly you say half of the list. I can do the math. I'll say 40% of the list might not make it.
What about a third?
I would buy that. A third don't make it.
You want to call your shot?
No, I do not.
What do you mean?
Why am I poking holes in my own too soon power ranking? That's not what Overreaction Monday's for. No, Overreaction Monday is not set up for me to contradict myself.
Half. I'm saying half.
Okay.
No? All right.
No. Correct.
Okay.
I say no to that.
I'm aboard the Bears train. Are you?
I know you are.
Are you with me?
It depends on
Are you with me?
What stop is the train getting off at? I'm on the train. I just don't know how far the train's going. Like, what station is it pulling into?
How about this station? Bears receivers are going to have the most TD catches in the NFL this year.
No, come on.
They've got 3 of the best. You could say they've got the best wide receiver core in the NFL.
This is the quintessential overreaction. Quintessential. They've got Keenan Allen.
Yep.
They've got DJ Moore.
Studs.
And they've got Rome Odunze.
Absolute.
Those are your 3.
Absolute studs.
You could make a case that's a very deep wide receiver room.
Yeah.
And a very prolific, productive wide receiver room.
No question.
And that they've got a kid in college. Okay. You don't think there's going to be any, again, CJ Stroud's the outlier. You don't think there's going to be any sort of welcome to the NFL moment for Caleb Williams? You don't think?
I think Cam Newton was great right away, immediately. Back-to-back 400-yard games
to the point where his wide receiver,
And who were his wide receivers? This guy's just as good as Cam in college. Didn't win a national championship. I get it.
If we had
and now he's got these awesome wide receivers and all these great weapons and a good running game.
When was the last time a completely new wide receiver room with a new quarterback led the league in touchdowns? You don't know the answer to that. I don't know the answer to that. All I know is that this one wide receiver out of the 3, one wide receiver out of this 3 was with the team last year.
Yep.
And they've changed coordinators and quarterbacks since then. And you think that mix, including the quarterback being somebody who's never done it at the professional level before, and one of the receivers never done it at the professional level before, will come in and wind up being the formula for the most touchdown catches in the league.
Could all 3 of these guys catch 10 touchdowns this year?
Yeah, but you could take a look at any of the wide receiver rooms in the NFL. Look at Houston's. Don't you think that Houston's can do the same thing? I would say Houston's is more apt. Like if I had to choose a team.
I came to this because Jordan Love said they don't have a number 1 receiver, and that helps them. Well,
he said
the
that
Bears
this weekend.
have 3 number 1 receivers.
Right. And the reason why Jordan Love said it helps them is because he's got the option of throwing to anyone, and everyone is not going to be saying, I'm the best, you should give it to me. There's no disease of Moore or whatever Pat Ryland said. The disease of me, correct. So I think that was his reference there. But again, rookie quarterback who's never done it before, rookie wide receiver who's never done it before, wide receiver that's new to the area, playing in the cold after playing in Southern California and indoors, and the one guy who's been there for a year now has to adjust to a new quarterback who's never done it before and an offensive coordinator that's never coordinated for the team before. That is, I think, a mixture that, let's put it this way, it would be tough to say that's the setup where the most touchdown catches in the league is going to come from. Like I said, Stroud's thrown to Tank Dell. Stroud's thrown to Nico Collins. Stroud and Stephon Diggs, I imagine, can get on the same page. That's a for instance, where I would take that setup as more likely to mix up our segments.
Bears receivers have more touchdowns than Texans receivers.
Okay, I would take the other way around, obviously, and that's another pin that we're putting. We're putting in a lot of pins here in June.
Putting a lot of pins. All right, how about this one?
Yeah.
Ken Dorsey, now the OC in Cleveland.
Yes.
Bears are going to have the best offense in the AFC North.
The Browns you're talking about.
Browns.
The Browns will have the best offense in the AFC North. What is the metric for the best offense?
You'll
just see it. You'll see it. You'll see it. You'll know it when you see it.
Eye test. Data will back it up. Points, yards per game. Browns, the best offense in the AFC North.
Well, I can't say you're not making a case. I mean, it just doesn't. Yeah, I mean,
Amari
I guess
Cooper, David Njoku.
No, I know what you're saying.
Chubb's back.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying.
Okay,
Watson, Stefanski with Ken Dorsey, putting it together.
It's a great recipe.
Sure. You don't think Cincinnati's going to have a better one? Chase and Burrow and T. Higgins is going to play. Don't take the cheese. He's not going to hold out. That won't happen.
Are we getting a full year of 9?
Well, are we going to get a full year of Deshaun Watson? You can make that case with anybody.
I know.
The Ravens' offense, we imagine, will be a little bit better because Derrick Henry is going to be pretty good, and Keaton Mitchell's a nice little switch up if his knee's right. And but I can't push back and say that that's not.
No, we don't know what Pittsburgh's going to look like, but AFC North is really, really tough, man. It's
I know. We're assuming it's a tough, which means it won't be. Remember, we thought the AFC East was going to be the toughest division in football last year.
The West a couple years ago.
The AFC West when Russell Wilson first showed up in Denver.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? And Derek Carr was still with the Raiders. And Justin Herbert.
I don't know. I weirdly think the Browns are going to be really good.
Okay. Sounds good. I can't push back to say that's not that you're off.
I don't know.
But you might be right.
I like Ken Dorsey being there.
Okay. Also likes Ken Dorsey being there.
He had a great run with the Bills.
A Bills fan.
And then
the Bills fan doesn't mind Ken Dorsey being there.
I don't think it was his fault.
Doesn't mind Ken Dorsey being in Cleveland? Well, the only person who might mind that Ken Dorsey's still in Cleveland is whoever sets up that camera in the offensive coordinator's.
That was one of the best shots from last year.
Yes. What else you got? Yeah. Banging it.
I don't like Daniel Jones. It's fine. I don't think he should have gotten
All right,
paid
where are we
that
going
much.
with this?
I don't think the Giants are going to finish last in the NFC East.
Who does?
Not the Giants.
Who does?
I think they are going to be a team that we're not talking about, and we're kind of like, oh, Daboll's on the hot seat. Should have drafted a quarterback. But it's this team that we say these things about each year that starts out 5-2 and ends up kind of maybe winning a playoff game or doing something kind of crazy we're not expecting. The Giants are not going to finish in last place in the NFC East.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Malik Neighbors?
Well, who does, though? It's not going to be the Cowboys.
On.
Cowboys aren't finishing last, and the Eagles aren't finishing last. It means the Commanders are finishing last, and I don't know, brother. I don't know. I mean, odds are that the Giants will do that, so I'm not going to say you're wrong. Instead, here's how I'll respond. You want to know a team that nobody is talking about that won't finish last?
Like a team like this? Who?
Oh, yeah. That nobody's talking about. Literally, quite literally, nobody's talking about.
To finish in last?
Yeah.
Who, the Jets?
Nope. Everyone's talking about the Jets.
Yeah, but not to finish last.
But people are talking about this team. I mean, like, you're not talking about them at all.
Who's this?
Tennessee Titans. Dude.
Excuse me. I was going to do something about them. But.
By the way, well, look at this. New coach who's bringing in his dad, Bill, to run scheme.
Oh, and they got two great running backs.
Okay, and
two good running backs to complement each other.
All right, so they've got Tony Pollard, hopefully healthy. Yep. Tajee Spears, as well. Okay, yep. Their wide receiver room. You want to talk about wide receivers?
Sneaky.
Calvin Ridley.
It's sneaky good.
Tyler Boyd, who knows the system that Brian Callahan's bringing in from Cincinnati. DeAndre Hopkins. All right, Will Levis. Let's hope he's bringing his mayonnaise and coffee and bananas and whatever the hell he's got, right? Jeffrey Simmons up front.
Yeah.
No, I'm just I'm going higher register on the Tennessee Titans. I'm like, don't sleep on the Tennessee Titans to do something.
To do what?
I don't know. Not finish last.
More likely to finish last, Giants or Titans?
Giants.
Oh.
Yeah.
With a quarterback who's won a playoff game?
I don't know what's happening with you.
I'm trying to be glass
But
half full.
I understand that, but I don't think Daniel Jones is starting week 1.
You don't?
I don't.
Seems like he's talking like he is.
That's great. Terrific.
Okay.
That'd be great for them.
Drew Lock can't win a few games out of the gate.
The Giants, by the way,
what is their schedule to start?
The Giants are home from Minnesota.
Win.
At Washington.
Win.
At Cleveland.
2-0, 3-0.
Dude, you just said Cleveland may have the best offense in the AFC North.
I don't know. I mean, that was one take ago.
Home for Dallas. Come on, dude. Are you really doing the win-loss game for the Giants right now?
I don't know. Why not? 3-1.
At the Seattle Seahawks.
3-2.
Home for the Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday night.
See, the Bengals, I don't know if I don't know about that. I think they could shock them 4-2.
Home for the Eagles with Saquon Barkley coming in.
Ooh.
Yeah, right.
Ooh.
At the Pittsburgh Steelers on a Monday night. The Rooney Mara Bowl.
So what are we 3-3? No, 3-4.
No, you went 3-0 to start.
I went 3-0 to start.
Then they lost to Dallas. Then they lost at Seattle.
That's
3-2.
a tough one.
Then you went Cincinnati 4-2. Then Philadelphia's 4-3. Right.
Yep.
At Pittsburgh
5-3.
Home for Washington
6-3.
Home for Carolina
7-3 going into the bye week. Then what are we doing? We're going nuts.
Home for Tampa
8-3.
Okay. At Dallas on Thanksgiving 8-4.
8-4.
Home for New Orleans
9-4.
Home for Baltimore
9-5.
At Atlanta
10-5.
Home for Indianapolis
11-5.
And at Philadelphia.
Ooh, for first place in the NFC East.
Okay, dude. Okay.
No.
Hey, man.
That's best case scenario.
Let me say this to you.
Giants.
As somebody who...
Neighbors is Rookie of the Year?
As somebody who has called a Munich game before, I will say to you the following. If the Giants are that good, I would be very happy. I would love for the Giants to be a surprising team. I would love for you to be right.
I think my point is that nobody's talking about them.
That is correct.
We just assume they're going to be
people
picking.
are talking about them.
But we just assume
nobody's
they're going to be
talking about them as a viable playoff threat.
Exactly. We're talking about them being a top 5 pick in the draft team again. Dable's on the hot seat. Jones is out.
And I'm saying you look at the AFC South, everybody assumes Houston has a chance to unseat Kansas City.
Right.
All right. Everybody's assuming Indianapolis will have a healthy Anthony Richardson who will show you why they drafted him when they drafted him, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's assuming that Jacksonville will bounce back this year.
Yep.
Or at least Trevor Lawrence will have a bounce back season, will be more healthy, and we're assuming Jacksonville will do such a thing, right? And then everyone's assuming Tennessee is in last place. I'm saying nobody's talking about Tennessee at all. Like, period. You know the number of people, again, just in terms of win-loss games, and then we'll move on.
Okay.
In terms of win-loss games, when people phone in.
Has anyone done the Titans yet?
No, I don't think so. But my point is, though, when anybody does the win-loss game, any Bears fan will do a win-loss game and will say, Tennessee at home, win. And then the Jet fans will call in, Jets at Tennessee week 2. When they were like, win. And I'm like, hold on a second. Certainly for the Jets start the season Monday night in San Francisco. They will land in New Jersey crack of dawn Tuesday. They're going to have to be on a flight to Tennessee middle of the day Saturday. Well, so they're going to finally feel like themselves again Wednesday to practice 3 days, and then they're going to turn. I mean,
short week to have
anybody's a Packer fan. Anybody's a Packer fan calling in. Hey, week 3 at Tennessee, win.
Yeah, you're right.
I
think the same for the Giants. People are penciling Giants for wins.
Okay. Look at you caping for the Big Blue. Hey, Overreaction Monday is brought to you by our friends at Game Time, which is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. Susie and I use it all the time, and it's so simple to use. You go and find the venue. Then what pops up is a map of the venue, a seat map of the venue. The prices are you just toggle on a price that's resting right over the seat. So then when you do that, you can see the view of the stage, of the court, of the ice, of the field from the seat. Then you get the entire cost of the ticket, all in pricing. So when you buy it, you're not like, wait a minute, that's a hell of a lot more than what I saw for the price of the ticket. You are not surprised. If you want to actually wait towards tip-off for a basketball finals game that's coming up this week, guess what? The prices actually go down the closer it gets to tip-off. Those are their killer last-minute deals. Take the work straight out of buying tickets and basketball finals tickets, especially right now, with Game Time. Download the Game Time app on your mobile device. Create an account. Use our code OVERREACTION, and you get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Visit gametime.co for restrictions. Again, create an account. Redeem our code OVERREACTION, OVERREACTION. That's 2 R's in Overreaction. Download Game Time today, and you get $20 off when you redeem that code. Download Game Time today, folks. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Second half kickoff,
Second
sir.
half,
What do you
let's
got?
go.
This June edition of
June
Overreaction
edition.
Monday.
Now, I believe I said earlier that this guy's on the hot seat entering the
Mike
season.
McDaniel?
Yeah.
Head coach of the Dolphins?
Yeah, that was then. This is now. Dolphins are going to end the playoff drought this year. They're going to win in the playoffs.
I don't think you're wrong.
I am weirdly leaning toward picking them to win the East.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Major question marks surrounding all the other teams. Patriots don't have a chance. They're going to be in last place.
Yeah.
Jets, question marks. Rodgers' health, chemistry. Bills, kind of a shrug emoji on what Buffalo's going to do.
Did you think about this when you played the soundbite at the end of last week's show, our flagship show, the soundbite of Mike McDaniel saying that he's been setting off-season coaching meeting times at 24 minutes past the hour?
You know, he's quirky, and I kind of like weird stuff like that.
He says he wants people to start getting used to talking about not having won a playoff game in 24 years because that's the narrative that will be brought up to the team once they make the playoffs this coming year.
Yep.
So I guess
he's way out in front of this. I mean, he's 6-7 months.
Does that mean the meeting times were 23 minutes past the hour last year? You know, listen, I love stuff like that. Talking about elephants in rooms and not being afraid to talk about the lengthy past that is something that other teams would like to avoid discussing. I kind of dig on all that. Here's what we need to have happen. We need to have Mike McDaniel make sure that this team wins its games in December.
Yes.
And
Correct.
however that works,
Correct.
However he can make that work, fine. But he couldn't control Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips going down last year
with injuries on defense.
Injuries.
Yeah.
And those are my concerns for them. Two dynamic defensive linemen with Christian Wilkins gone.
Right.
All right. So if they're going into the season with no Chubb, no Wilkins, no Phillips, that would be a very difficult proposition for them to win the games in September, like, say, home against Jacksonville and Buffalo, going into Seattle. Then there's that home game with Tennessee, as I just mentioned. Tennessee, if you remember,
they had one of the best games last year of the season.
Will Levis came back on them at the end of a game that Tyreek Hill got hurt in.
Oh, and they were up 14
on a Monday
with
night.
2 or 3 minutes
Correct.
left. Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, yes, I think I wouldn't be surprised if most people chose Miami to win this division.
Oh, interesting.
So I think they'll be, you could look up your favorite sites that I don't have an IP address for as being an NFL employee and see how many people think the Jets or the Bills are going to win this division. Clearly, it's not New England at this point.
No, definitely not.
So I don't mind it, but to win a playoff game on the road.
Well, who do they play week 18 this year? Because remember last year they lost 2 playoff games.
It's the Jets. They're in New Jersey.
That could be for a playoff spot.
Yeah, I know. I hear you. And, I don't believe, Zach Wilson's going to walk through that door. Actually, that wasn't the quarterback who threw the Hail Mary, was it?
It was not.
I've truly conveniently forgotten his name.
That's probably good for you.
I've truly conveniently forgotten his name, and that's not an overreaction. But I don't push back on this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
This time of year is social media. It's clips. It's great pass here, great pass there. Oh, he threaded the needle.
I mean, in 7-on-7s,
7-on-7s. Everyone's posting these videos. I love them. I can't get enough of it. I mean, I'm falling for the ones coming from Atlanta. Falcons, top 5 scoring offense this year.
I can't deny it. How am I going to deny it? I mean, Cousins healthy. Look out. In terms of in a dome.
Right.
Drake London and Kyle Pitts. and Bijan Robinson,
who was hurt last year. I mean,
how about them
what?
apples, right? I mean, I can't deny it.
Yeah,
Can you? Can anyone
potential.
else?
I don't know. I think they could be one of the most fun,
I know, that's the idea.
red zone-y teams
That was
in the
the
league.
idea.
You know?
That was the idea when the guy signed. That's why, again, I know I keep harping on this thing.
It's still
but don't you think adding a player at 8th overall who can actually get on the field this year and enhance the conversation about this offense that we're having? You know?
Or to be one of
Don't
the
you
stoppers.
think getting exactly
defense.
what I'm saying is that even defensively enhances the offense. Anybody. But to say we're going to win now, we're going to spend now to win now with this roster that was just needed the quarterback.
Yep.
And then go ahead and draft somebody that looks down the road for when the quarterback that's supposed to have you win right now is done playing. So you're not left shorthanded like you were the last couple of years, costing Arthur Smith your job. Like, it's the weirdest. That's still, I don't understand it.
But I think once the
Draft
game starts,
process.
and like, who do they open with? Atlanta.
Look at us now beginning to see who they open with. Oh, Pittsburgh. That's a great one.
That's a great
at
opener.
home, but then they're scheduled to start.
It's tough.
Home for Pittsburgh, at Philadelphia on a Monday night. Kansas City at home on a Sunday night. That's after Kansas City starts at home against the Ravens and the Bengals.
Right.
That could be like desperation city for two teams that have high aspirations.
More likely to be 0-2 going into that game.
Home for New Orleans, which you know is to throw the records out. Home for Tampa on a short week Thursday night. At Carolina. Home for Seattle, at Tampa, home for Dallas, at New Orleans to wrap up that season series. By the way, by week 10, they will have already played
Tampa and
5 of their 6 division games.
Whoa.
Yeah, by week 8, they're done with Tampa. By week 10, they're done with New Orleans, and they'll already have visited Carolina once. Then they're at Denver on a week 11 visit, and then there's a bye. Home for the Chargers in week 13. Week 14 is the Kirk Cousins at Minnesota visit.
That's fun.
We're assuming.
That is a tough start.
At
1,
Vegas
2, 3.
on a Monday night. I mean, so they better have a top 5 offense. It'll be tested.
That'll be fun.
Start.
More likely to be 0-2 going into that game, Falcons or Chiefs.
Oh, Falcons.
Really?
Dude, they're at Philadelphia. Kansas City's at home in both those games.
Okay, but
they don't think that
Kansas City does lose home games now and then.
2 in a row to start the season?
I don't know.
Okay. What else?
Could happen.
What else?
Rich, you love power rankings now. You love them after you fought them forever. You love them.
Yeah.
You love them. Maybe the most fun power rankings you ever did was quarterback birthday parties.
Yes, my number one
Who was number one?
Gardner Minshew.
Gardner Minshew is going to have the Raiders in the playoffs this year.
All right. It's funny doing the construct that I created off the top of my head in the middle of a show a couple Wednesdays ago about
Feel good.
Coming up with the feel good
best
case scenarios for each team. Many fan bases have picked it up and made their own TikTok videos out of it.
Like it's a prediction you're making?
Correct. Like it is my actual prediction for the team. Not like, hey, I'm giving you the best case scenarios for you to chew on. It's not saying it's impossible, but there's a reason why it's called a best case scenario.
A little high register.
Right? Very little in your life that you say, this is the best case scenario, and it actually happens and plays out that way, right?
Sure.
Which is why it's a best case scenario. The Raider fans picked up on my Raider best case scenario of Gardner becomes like the new Kenny Stabler, right? And Max Crosby is the defensive player of the year, and Antonio Pierce is a coach of the year finalist, and the team wins the division and welcomes in as their wild card weekend visiting opponent, the Kansas City Chiefs, and they're the ones who end the Kansas City Chiefs three-peat hopes in the building where the three-peat hopes were initially born because they won back-to-back Super Bowls in the home of the Raiders, and they exorcise the demons and open the window and get the stench of that out. Raider fans went nuts.
Yeah,
and the number of them that are like,
T-shirts
well, I love
everywhere,
Rich. He capes for us all the time. He's part of Raider Nation, all that stuff. And I'll just push back and call this an overreaction.
Oh.
How's that for a long wind-up and this being a pitch? Dude, for the Raiders to make the playoffs, is a big.
I mean, he's got to be Rich Gannon, Ken Stabler 3.0.
I mean, do you think 3 teams make it out of the West? Because I'm assuming you have to.
No.
Jim Harbaugh plussed up the 49ers by 7 wins his first year there.
They're going to make it. It's Chiefs.
That's what I'm saying. So that's a 12-win Charger season. Even if he pluses up the Chargers 6, that's 11.
Right.
Even if he pluses up the Chargers 4, that's 10.
And that's
or
probably
that's 9. Pardon me. 9. Yeah. So you
10 wins,
5 wins.
10 wins gets you the 7 seed. It's a race to 10 wins to make the playoffs.
Okay. So.
But why not? What if we just expected the...
But I can't sit here and say he's going to have the Raiders in the playoffs. I mean, that's an overreaction. But that's the point. But we expect the North to be so good that maybe they only get 1 playoff team and 3 come out of the West. I
would be shocked, but, stranger things have happened.
What else?
Okay. Well, if you don't love this one, you're not going to like this one.
Great setup.
Someone other than the Chiefs or Ravens will be the 1 seed in the AFC this year.
I think you're not off on that. That's not an overreaction.
I mean, it's literally been these 2 teams for like.
No, I get it. I don't think you're wrong on that.
Feels like 10 years.
I don't think you're wrong on that.
Oh.
I think an AFC North team that puts it together has a shot to do that.
So who are the options?
I think the Houston Texans have a shot to do that.
Texans.
Oh, yeah. Take a look at my top 10 power rankings that you've pooped upon.
I have them in front of me. I didn't poop on them. No.
So walk me through who my top AFC teams are.
You would have Texans are your next best at 5.
After the Ravens and Chiefs.
So Chiefs and Ravens 2, 3. Texans 5. Browns 7. Jets 8.
Sure.
Anybody else?
Dolphins. You can throw the Dolphins in there. And I put the Jets at 8 just because I think they currently have a better defensive line.
Wearing number 8?
Dude,
is that why?
No, as I said to you.
Is that why you did that? Because Rodgers wears 8, so you had the Jets 8?
I didn't do any numerology.
I thought you were being kind of clever.
Not at all. Not at all. No, I just look at the Jets roster and I see what they have put together.
Really good roster.
And I see what they are defensively, and they have a better defense than the Dolphins right now based on health, depth.
Yeah. No doubt.
And I'm just assuming Rodgers shows up and plays more than 4 snaps. Man, that 4th snap of the season on that Monday night is just going to be so fraught for so many Jet fans. Just please get through it in one piece. Hand it off.
Yeah, 6 straight handoffs.
No, just to make sure
just to lock it in.
Just to lock in that it's longer.
More than
well, you're assuming that the first drive, the Jets will be able to run the ball with success to have 6 of them in a row.
Could lead the league in rushing this year.
I'm aware of that, sir. Okay. So I don't think there's, and the Bills could shock. Another team in the AFC North we're not referring to. Bengals could shock, right? To be a 1 seed.
To be a 1 seed?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe a team we're not talking about.
What else?
Our last one.
I'll buy that one is what I'm saying.
You're buying that one?
There you go.
Last one. The news broke during the flagship show Monday. Mike Tomlin, 3-year extension.
Yeah, buddy.
He's going to be the Steelers coach through the end of 2027? No. Mike Tomlin won't see the end of this latest contract.
I think you're out of your mind.
Steelers fans finally get their wish.
So you think
Russell Wilson, worst case scenario, Russell Wilson, total flop. Justin Fields, not an NFL quarterback.
And he's to blame for that.
And Tomlin kind of eats it.
Because he did not develop either man.
Correct.
Well, Russell Wilson is a fully developed man right now.
He looks jacked.
I know that. I saw that.
Post that he had.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I'm just giving you one last chance.
No, this is a team, again, as I point out again, this is not a franchise that is prone to making a change, even when the fan base is howling for it.
The other guys last. Like Chuck Noll was the coach for how long?
I don't know off the top of my head. It was from 69 to whenever Cowher took over, and then Cowher took over and gave it up.
Cowher was like 15, and now Tomlin's working on 18. I mean, we're getting near the end is what I'm saying.
No
one thought Bill would ever leave, and then a couple bad years, and suddenly, he's out. And he's, on TV all the time. He's in Croatia.
That means he's going to get fired before the end of the 3 years.
Parting of ways, maybe after 2025.
After 2 years, then.
After 2025.
I think you're
like
off.
Back-to-back playoff misses after all these years. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
What did you really think I'd say? You're right.
No, I was kind of giving you just one more chance to pump up Tomlin.
I'm not pumping anything up. I'm talking facts. I'm
kind of surprised by this move by Pittsburgh. Aren't you?
What are you talking about?
A 3-year extension. So you're looking 4 years over the steering wheel.
This is their way of saying to the fan base.
How many coaches have come and go in the last 4 years?
We hear you, but we do our own things, and we're the Roonies. Roonies?
Do you think they care what the fans think?
Absolutely, they do. Every franchise does. Of course they do. They care. They hear them. I'm listening like Fraser Crane, and then they do what and then it's worked.
No playoff wins in what?
Oh, God.
Decade?
I understand.
I know.
But
at some point, that has to matter.
I'll push back and say no, thank you.
At some point,
nice try.
At some point, that has to matter.
Nice try.
Who wins a playoff game first? Dolphins or Steelers?
How about they both play
each other
in the divisional round?
That would be great. Someone ends a drought.
There you go. How's that?
Someone ends a drought.
It's a great splitting of the atom to finish this show. Well done, Christopher. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Rich.
Overreaction Monday. Soon. Yes. Check us out every single. I guess we'll do this again in July.
Be back in July.
And then look out. Then we're going to get a regular cadence. Once football returns, you're going to get us every single week. And what the football returns in August as well. And then we've got a lot of fun stuff cooking on the podcast side of things here on the Rich Eisen Show. Yeah, so keep an ear out for all of that. But for the moment, for Chris, I'm Rich saying thanks for taking this edition of Overreaction Monday. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern for free.